Hey honeys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandy if you're new here. So in this video, I'll be telling you how to become an English teacher in South Korea. I'm currently an English teacher in South Korea, and I'm glad to tell you how to become a teacher here. So the first thing you need to decide on before you come here is where you want to teach. Do you want to teach at a private school or a public school? Private schools here in South Korea are called hagwons, and public schools are just public schools. So I decided to teach at a private school because with private schools, salaries are much higher compared to when you're teaching at a public school. And then another reason is that the application process is fairly easy compared to when you want to teach at a public school. And then the last reason is that the salaries when you're teaching at a private school is much higher compared to when you're teaching at a public school. So before you apply to become an English teacher here in South Korea, you need to first check whether you qualify to become a teacher. So in order to be sponsored an E2 visa, you need to be from one of the native English speaking countries. And these countries are the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and of course South Africa. Please excuse me if I'm looking down. I just have all the things that I want to say written down on a book so that I remember them, okay? So let's talk about the things you will need to apply to become an English teacher here in South Korea. So you will need your CV, your passport photos, your passport, police clearance certificate, and an apostilled qualification, which is your degree. Okay, so my advice to you would be to get your documents ready before you apply. Okay, get your documents ready before you apply or before you reach out to recruiters, because once you reach out to recruiters and you don't have your documents ready, they are not going to take you seriously. They are going to ghost you. So please get your documents ready first, okay, before you apply, so that you don't get ghosted. Okay, so let's talk about your passport first. So I would suggest the passport being the first thing that you do. So you go to Home Affairs to apply for a passport, okay? So I don't remember how much it cost me to do my passport because I did it in 2019 when I was doing my ID. So I decided to also do my passport when I was doing my ID card. So I don't remember how much it cost me. But my boyfriend recently did his passport and I asked him how much he paid, and he told me he paid around 600 for his passport. Okay, so the first thing you do is to get your passport. And then next, once you have your passport, you go apply for a police clearance certificate. So you go apply for a police clearance certificate at your nearest police station. So at the police station, they will take your fingerprints, okay? So once you have your fingerprints, you take that piece of paper with you. I'm telling you this because at the police station, they will wait for the documents to pile up before they send them to the criminal records center, and that is gonna take very long. So my advice to you would be to take that document with you, okay? Okay, so let's say you're done at the police station and you have the documents with your fingerprints with you. So the next thing you will do is to take that document and courier it via Postnet to Postnet Brooklyn in Pretoria, okay? So Postnet Brooklyn will send it to the Criminal Records Center for you, okay? So I paid about 109 rands to courier my documents to Postnet Brooklyn, okay? And then they sent it to the Criminal Records Center for me. So the next thing you will do is to email SAQA and you tell them that you would like to get your degree verified. They will get back to you with a form that you have to fill in, and you have to fill in the form and send it back to them with a copy of your ID and a copy of your degree. It doesn't have to be certified, okay? So once that is done, they will get back to you with a code and then a a copy of your verified qualification, right? Then you will use the code to make a payment, right? So once you've made a payment, you send them the proof of payment, okay? So SAQA is the South African Qualification Authority. I'll put their details in my description box, okay, so that you can look at their email address and see where to email them on, okay? So your verified qualification might get to Postnet Brooklyn before your police clearance certificate. So you don't have to worry about your verified degree. So SAQA works hand in hand with Postnet Brooklyn. They will deliver your verified qualification to Postnet Brooklyn, okay? So once your qualification, your verified qualification has arrived at Postnet Brooklyn, please ask them to keep it for you, okay? Because if you're gonna send your verified qualification first to DIRCO to get apostilled before you have your police clearance certificate, it's gonna cost you more to then also send your police clearance certificate to DIRCO. So wait for your police clearance certificate to also be done at the criminal record center before you like send it, okay? Okay, now let's say your verified degree is at Postnet Brooklyn already and your police clearance certificate is also done. So you can ask Postnet Brooklyn to go fetch your police clearance certificate from the criminal record center, and I paid around about 300. Yes, so I let them take the police clearance certificate with my verified degree to DIRCO to be apostilled, and I paid around about 909. Did I pay 909? Let me just check. Yes, I paid 909, okay? So they sent those documents to DIRCO to be apostilled. So once your documents are apostilled, you get notified, and then Postnet Brooklyn couriers those documents to you, okay? So you have your documents ready, right? So now you want to reach out to recruiters. So I would suggest you use these websites. The websites are Dave's ESL Cafe and Craigslist. So you can also use Facebook pages like Korea Teaching Job and English Teaching Jobs in Korea. And then the other one is South Korea Teaching Jobs. I'll also list the recruiters in my description box that you can reach out to. Okay, so I would say getting your documents ready is the hardest part, but then securing a job here in South Korea is like super easy. Okay, I would also advise that you download Kakao Talk to reach out to recruiters. Another thing is you can check on Facebook for the South Africans in South Korea group, and you can ask questions there. They're really helpful. So people usually respond and answer your questions. If you have any other questions, you can DM me on Instagram. I'll put my link in the description box. Okay, now let's talk about the interview. Let's say you've managed to secure an interview and your interview is coming up. So please don't choose a time that is around 3 or 4 a.m. South African time where you'll still be sleepy. Choose a time where you think, okay, this time is going to be fine with me. I chose to be interviewed at 7 a.m. South African time. So South Korea is 7 hours ahead of South Africa. So I chose to be interviewed at 7 a.m., which was like 2 p.m. South Korean time. Okay, so for the interview, please be confident, smile a lot, and just seem friendly, because they are looking for someone who they think is friendly and a person who knows how to work with kids. So the questions I was asked was, please tell us about yourself. Why do you want to become a teacher? And why did you choose South Korea? And then another one is, please tell us about your teaching methods, okay? Yes. So it's so easy getting a job in South Korea, I'm not lying. I was told after like 30 minutes that I got a job and they really liked me. So it's fairly easy. So then once you've secured your job, the next step would be to send your documents to South Korea, okay? So the documents that you send to South Korea is your apostilled degree, your police clearance, a copy of your passport, 5 passport pictures, an application for confirmation of visa issuance, and then you will also need to fill in a health form, and then you also need to send your employment contract, okay? So I sent my documents via DHL and it cost me about 945 rands, and my documents arrived in South Korea at the school within a week. So once you've sent your documents to South Korea, you usually get a number. So you get the number after a week or 2, depending on how busy immigration is. So you get it after some time of submitting your documents to the school. So the number you use to apply for a visa at the Korean embassy in South Africa. So there is a list of hospitals where you can go to for a TB test report. So you don't do the TB test report at any hospitals, okay? So there's a selected number of hospitals where you can do the TB test report. So the TB test report is for applying for a visa. I remember I did mine at Mediclinic in Worcester and it cost me about 1,434 rands. So the other things you need to apply for your visa is your passport picture, a copy of your passport, and a visa application form, and then your contract, okay? And then you need to pay 1,080 for the visa application. So I used an agent for my visa. I'll link his details in my description box. So it took me about a week to get my visa. So he couriered my visa and I paid him around about 600 rands. So in total, I spent around about 6,500 for everything, okay? Yeah. Okay, so we've reached the end of this video. If you have any other questions, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. I have my link in the description box, okay? So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video, okay? Bye-bye.